are now tuned into Flipping the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
What's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome one, welcome all to episode 13 of Flipping the Birds. I'm Bryan Cameron alongside Chris and Fonte, and we're here. We're 3-2. We're out of the doghouse right now.
We are 3-2. A very uninspiring 3-2. And people are going to come after us like, well, I mean, well, I guess.
A win's a win. But no, this is not.
I guess against me, but like 10 sacks, but 10 sacks, you know. But,
Let's clarify. I completely agree with you. The moment that we got on the phone, I said to you that this felt like a loss more than a win.
I didn't think it felt like a loss. Like I told you before, let's pump the brakes on that. Like that's a little bit of overreaction. 10 sacks on obviously, which was needed because the Jets' offensive line is probably the worst in the entire league. So if you don't feast on the Jets' offensive line, then you have no shot at all during the season. So to see 10 sacks on the year and see them vault up to 12 sacks on the year, which is kind of sad, you know. So we had 10 sacks today, and now we're at 12 for the entire season. So going into today, we only had 2 after 4 games, which is very, very uninspiring. Quick math, that's a half sack a game. I like to show off my math capabilities sometimes. But you know, it was kind of alarming today, for the offense not to put up more points than the defense. They put up as many points as defense, not counting Jake Elliott's, field goal. Offense and defense had the same amount of points today.
My thing is like the play calling, like it gets good, then gets bad. It gets good, then gets bad, and it's like there's no consistency with this offense right now, and it's not Carson. Carson's doing everything he can. The receivers are catching the ball. Alshon, I think, had 52 yards today. Ertz had 50-something. But the running game, like, Jordan Howard had 15 attempts for 62 yards. Miles Sanders, I think he had, 9 attempts for 15 yards. Well, my mistake. Howard had 13 attempts. But my thing is, in the beginning of the game, for the past 4 games, the Eagles come out the gate. They start with 5 wide. They'll call Miles back to the backfield, and they'll run a running play to the side. And it's like, if you know this doesn't work, why are we still doing this? Why are we still stuck in this Chip Kelly-esque offense right now?
I don't. Yeah, like you said, it's a Chip Kelly thing. Under Andy Reid, it was not like this. I mean, I'm sure
it was more in the center.
Yeah, it was definitely more on the center. But those were the days when fullbacks were all the rave, and I miss having a fullback so bad. But because fullback, and you saw Jets kind of utilize some fullback use today too, and it worked for them. I mean, it worked to the tune of 6 points, but the 6 points was a trick play, but having a fullback really just gets that extra blocker in there without having to go 12 personnel, even though 12 personnel is our bread and butter. But
that's the weird thing. If 12 personnel is our bread and butter, why are we not starting under the center, to start the game, right? Why are we not doing this to build a rhythm for Carson? And back in, if I'm not mistaken, it was Carson's rookie year or 2017. The stats prove that Wentz is more effective under center. He's not more effective on the shotgun.
A lot of QBs are more effective on the center, but when they're in shotgun, it just makes Sanders be an outside runner much more.
He looks like DeMarco Murray in Chip Kelly's offense right now.
He does, but I think it's a combination of. But with DeMarco Murray in Dallas was a north-south runner. Chip Kelly in Philly made him an east-west runner,
which made no sense.
Stupid. Sanders is a guy who can bounce. He can bounce it. That was his gameplay in Penn State. But I feel like he's making it seem like he's making it a lot more difficult than it should be. He's bouncing it outside, and then he's like, "Oh, let me shimmy here, let me shimmy there," when you don't need to. You can bounce it outside and just take the edge for what it is. You have two of the best edge blockers, and left tackle and right tackle. Let them seal the edge for you and just take it. You don't need to. Take the ball and get it on Lane Johnson's side and then say, you know what, let me run closer to the sideline. That's what Sanders has been doing. I love Sanders. He's been doing great. He had 60-something yards total today, but like you said,
yards receiver.
9 carries for 15 yards. And Sanders again making his case that why he should be the lead back. 13 carries for 62 yards. He should be.
Howard making a case.
Howard, yeah.
Yeah, you said Sanders. Sorry.
I've had a few beers today. Leave me alone, man.
And you have the camera facing your chest. I can't even see your face. What's going on with you today?
I have it pointed on Super Bowl champions. My shirt. Because my damn dog is making me throw the ball all the time. And just a quick update: Dak Prescott was just sacked. So it's 7-0 Packers. Go Pack. Go Pack. Go.
Speaking of sacks, it was the Jets.
Look at that little segue I got you going.
It was the Jets, but 10 sacks. Brandon Graham 3 sacks. Orlando Scandrick 2 sacks. One of them being a strip sack for a touchdown. Do you think it was just a Jets thing, or do you think that the rush is coming back?
Well, I think it was a few games ago. I know it wasn't last game. Maybe it was a game before. I did tweet out like Derek Barnett, him and Graham have the pressures. Sacks are gonna come at bunches soon. Like,
I think Graham leads the league in hurries, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like he makes them. He hurries the quarterback. Like, people want to downplay Pro Football Focus and all their stats. And yes, you can pick and choose what you want to use, and but you can do that for a lot of stats. But the Eagles are top 3, I think, in quarterback hurries. The fact that the reason why they're not getting the sack numbers is because quarterbacks, when they get hurried, they're still completing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And they're able to complete the ball quickly, and even when they're hurried, there's still a receiver open because we don't have DBs who can cover for more than 2 seconds. They're hurried within that 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then the quarterback's like, oh, wait, there's someone open underneath because we don't have corners that can cover for more than 2 seconds. I know I just said that, but it's a fact worth repeating.
I have one question. Are we going to end up talking about Ramsey in this podcast? Because I feel like you're segueing that way. I'm a little fearful right now. I just went through a great depression last week because of the whole Ramsey talk and the fact that we didn't land him. I'm trying to, move forward in my life.
Listen. With the report today that...
No, there was a report today.
With the report today, and today is Sunday, obviously. With the report today, I think it was this morning, that the Jaguars aren't even considered... Like, there was... Apparently, there were 2 offers of 2 first-round picks from 2 different teams. And both teams wanted a second-round pick in return with Ramsey.
Second-round pick in return with Ramsey?
So the trade, it was 2 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey and a second-round pick. Which, in all essence, it is a fair trade. But the Jaguars said no to that. And apparently they won't even trade him for 5 first-round picks.
So it's set in stone that as of right now, Jalen Ramsey is not being traded.
He is not being traded. How stupid are you as Jaguars, who lost today sitting at 2-3? And the Texans, you saw their offense on full display today.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Texans sitting at 3-2. Jaguars just lost 2-3. I think the Titans lost today. I gotta check on that. If they lost, then they're 2.
The Bills today.
So then they're 2-3. The Bills won, so they're 2-3. And the Colts play tonight, which they face the Chiefs. so they're gonna lose. They're gonna be 2-3.
How is
So,
that a Sunday night game?
I mean, to be fair to the NFL schedule people, they thought this was gonna be Mahomes versus Luck.
Yeah, but don't they have the like the switchable
You can't flex. I don't think you can't flex until later in the season. So
that's
everything's set. I think everything's set in stone until about week 13. Then you can start flexing.
I've been flexing all my life.
I was about to say that's something we do every podcast, flexing. But it's something my wife likes me to do.
So shout out to Chris's wife because she came into the house before the podcast, full blown, calling Chris out on everything.
No,
things I will not say on the podcast.
I was about to say things that were said off of the podcast that my wife said to me doesn't need to be said again.
She is the MVP right now.
Okay, we can keep those things off of the podcast, especially when I'm not the one who edits the podcast. You can pick and choose what's on the podcast. See, if I could edit, we could say whatever we want, and I would edit it out.
It wasn't recorded.
It's
only
recorded.
Embedded in my mind for all
it
of
will
eternity.
Stay out of the podcast. Stop laughing upstairs. My wife's laughing upstairs.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, moving forward, we have Minneapolis next. Well, I mean, we have Minnesota next. My apologies.
Minneapolis Vikings.
We have Minnesota next. How comfortable are you heading into that game?
Not.
Offense,
offensive wise, again, the Vikings won today, 28-10. They faced the Danny Dimes special, New York Giants, and they held them 10 points. But is that really saying much? The Giants lost. The Giants lost Wayne Gallman to a concussion during the game, so they were out without Barkley and Gallman. Daniel Jones sucks, so take the defense for what it's worth. Minnesota's always had a pretty good defense, a top defense, but I do expect there to be a ton of Eagles fans next week, especially with it being the first game in Minnesota.
Since when?
Since
it sure says it all.
Since some game called the Super Bowl. I think it's called the Super Bowl. That I have on my shirt right now. It's the Super Bowl champions.
So we won the Super Bowl and the toilet bowl.
And and Minnesota won. You know what Minnesota won? They won a higher ranking on the games of the year. I think on the NFL Network or NFL.com did the games of the year, and the Minneapolis Miracle was higher than any of I think our Super Bowl or something, or plays of the year. No, it was plays of the year. The Minneapolis Miracle was a higher play than the Philly Special. So there you go, Minnesota fans.
You got that.
You got ranked higher in plays.
Went from skull to foes.
And a week later, you lost 38-7.
But now, kind of gearing back. So you say you're not comfortable with the offense. How comfortable are you with the defense? Against Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook.
But at the same time, we have the best rush, one of the best. I don't think it's the best. One of the best rushing defenses in the league, maybe second best.
Don't forget, Minnesota was a team last year that Jalen Mills was trying to flex on Adam Thielen after he got beat, and then Fletcher Cox, kind of confronted Jalen during the game.
Yeah, I remember that. But now we don't have Jalen Mills to do that right now. We don't have anybody to really flex on any receiver outside of today. McLeod balled out, and our own Liam Jenkins and Thomas Peterson went full Rodney McLeod last week, and gave him all the praise that he deserves. And he was all over the place.
He had that sack too. He
almost
had that sack.
But we don't have a corner that can match up with Diggs. Let me rephrase that. With a happy Diggs. If Diggs is happy this week, he has all.
He's going to be because he only had 4 receptions. I mean,
Exactly.
4 targets, not even 4 receptions.
So, Yeah, but even if he's not happy, you still got to match up with Thielen, who can burn any one of our cornerbacks. Douglas had a great game too, but he could still burn Douglas. And then you have Dalvin Cook, who's averaging 6.8 yards per carry today, plus added another 86 yards receiving. He had over 210 yards total today. So there's a little game break. Packers are up 14-0. It's going to be rough next week. But at the same time, you're facing a guy in Kirk Cousins who is
clumsy.
Who is clumsy and one of the most overrated quarterbacks.
And overrated signings of all time. I mean, he had 84 guaranteed, I think it was at the time?
Yeah.
His whole contract was guaranteed?
I think I saw last week going into this game against the Giants. Giants were obviously 2-2, so I don't think they count as a winning team. But he has a very, very, very abysmal record against teams with a winning record. And this is his yearly career. In 2012, when he was a rookie, he was 1-0 in 3 games. He started 1 game. Second year, started 3 games, 0-3. 2014, started 5 games, 1-4. 2015, obviously this is all with the Redskins. 2015, 9-7. 2016, 8-7-1. He was a Pro Bowler that year. 4,100 yards, 29 touchdowns. 4,900 yards and 25 touchdowns for a Pro Bowler. 2017, he was 7-9. 2018 with Minnesota, 8-7-1. And this year he's 3-2. You know, he got a fully guaranteed deal.
That was a desperation move. They should have kept Teddy Bridgewater.
Because the
balled
Vikings
out today by the way.
He did, but the Vikings did Vikings things, and they panicked over this quarterback position.
So, I wrote an article this week called.
But Cousins, sorry to interrupt, but Cousins does have a ton of success against the Eagles.
He's always been kind of lethal against us in a sense. It used to be aggravating. What I want to segue into, I wrote a piece called pretty much saying the Eagles are simply waiting for Howie to be Howie. And usually Howie's Howie towards mid-season. My opinion on that is that I'm desperate enough. My thinking, I'm desperate enough to a point where Howie needs to make multiple moves right now if this team's going to contend for anything. Because right now they don't really look like a playoff team. My most honest opinion.
I think they do look like a playoff team, but I think they look like a 1 or 2 and done team.
Mm-hmm.
They look like a team that could handle, if/when they win the division. They look like a team who could win the wild card game if they don't get the bye, and make the second game competitive. Kind of like last year when they beat the Bears and then made the Saints game competitive.
But is that the new norm? I'm questioning everything. I'm in a point where I'm questioning everything right now. The off season, it feels like a lot of band-aids are just falling off the wall right now.
It's not band-aids, it's duct tape. and if us Puerto Ricans know anything, we can put duct tape on anything and it's fixed.
Yeah.
But that's not the case here. Our secondary is a leaky faucet.
Mm-hmm.
That if we put duct tape around it, water is going to keep moving through the pipes and making the adhesive on that tape come off, mm-hmm. and the tape is just going to come off, and the tape is going to fall off, and then just the floodgates are going to open. We didn't see that today because we faced Luke Falk.
And there was not much really passing going on. I mean, Demaryius Thomas dropped his own ball that he could have broken off with. He did catch another one. The majority of the passes were to Le'Veon Bell, so it's kind of you didn't really see much from the secondary.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell probably, at however many offensive touches the Jets had today, Le'Veon Bell probably had half of them.
I would say more than that.
maybe more than that. But
and for the second year in a row, we need wide receiver help at this point.
I mean, you look around. If you look around the league, and you try and look at who might be available, I don't think you're necessarily looking for that number one wide receiver type.
No, definitely not.
Because you kind of have you have that in Jeffrey, and Aguilar had another very quiet game ever since his.
He only had 20 yards today.
Yeah, and Wentz has not been looking his way
He's not trusting him. That's it.
And ever since Hakeem Laws came out, was like, unlike Aguilar, the guy who that hero who let me put that out there first, who saved a few babies from being thrown out of buildings. Ever since that, he has not been targeted much. Mm-hmm. And it's very it's very, very.
Well, he was targeted 3 or 4 times today for 2 deep passes, or 2 or 3 deep passes.
Yeah. I mean, and then one was
Wentz overthrew him.
One was the challenge that was stupid. I mean, I could see where Peterson was coming from. Is if Wentz had released the ball, mm-hmm. then it would have been pass interference. But he didn't release the ball, so it wasn't pass interference. But what Peterson should have challenged that second time when it was that fourth down conversion. But it's scary that right now Wentz's targets have been Ertz, Jeffrey, sometimes Goddard, sometimes Hollins, sometimes Sanders. That's it. He doesn't have that third receiver to hone in on. And
really
offenses and defenses are going to – good defense like the Vikings are going to hone in on that and say, you know what, we take away Ertz, we take away Jeffrey, they have nothing.
So just to reiterate what you're saying. So today's targets – Zach Ertz has 7 targets, 5 receptions, 57 yards. Alshon had 8 targets, 6 receptions for 52 yards. Miles Sanders was the third highest, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 49 yards. Aguilar and Goddard, 3 targets, 1 reception each. Matt Collins and Darren Sproles, 1 target apiece, no receptions.
We need that other guy to be that. I mean, if we're gonna really, give a lot of timeshare, I guess, in the passing attack, they need more than 2 guys that are gonna see the bulk of the targets. And if Deshaun is out, for a lot longer than expected, their offense is going to still sputter.
Well, apparently Deshaun's injury required a surgery, and he turned it down. That's how severe it is.
Yeah, I keep seeing that it might be a hernia. It might be, a real bad abdominal injury. Sorry, another game break. Defense turnover again on the Cowboys. Hold on. Let me see if it was it was an interception, and it is a pick six. No, it's not a pick six. Sorry. It's another interception. Dak threw another interception.
One of my emotions right now.
And it's 14-0. Turnover again. Man, what happened to all those nicknames? It was Carson Wentz, right? Wentz, Wintz. And let me shout out the guy who tweeted at me. I think it was last week when they're like, "Have you seen Wentz this season? All he does is throw interceptions."
He has 2 for the season.
And then I was like, "Oh, okay." And I put up a picture of Wentz with 2 interceptions and Prescott at the time 3 interceptions.
Oh yeah, 3. Wow.
He had 3, and then now he has 5 because he thrown 2 today. Hate to see it.
Did you see the piece on Jerry Jones this week saying that Prescott is pretty much their version of Tom Brady?
Yeah, I saw that.
And he said, no, he's not. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady because only Tom is Tom Brady, but Prescott is pretty close to what we can have as Tom Brady.
Jerry Jones is a senile old man.
But anyway, back to the Birds. We head to Minnesota next week. I'm weirdly concerned because past 2 seasons we're 1-1 against them. You mentioned it before. Kirk Cousins always has kind of like a pretty good game against us. Obviously, Adam Thielen is going to be the main focus because the run defense. I'm not too concerned with Dalvin Cook, honestly. Sure, he's going to get his yards and everything, but the run defense is looking pretty good.
I absolutely am. I mean, I know Le'Veon Bell didn't light us on fire today, but when you're running behind the line like the Jets, you're not going to do much, no matter what defense you're going against. But Dalvin Cook's offensive line, I mean, they're not world beaters, but you can see what they're doing. You see that they are allowing Dalvin Cook to beat Dalvin Cook. If he wasn't hurt last year, they would have done some damage. And Dalvin Cook, which a lot of people are saying, you passed up on Dalvin Cook, the Eagles, for Sidney Jones.
That's this year that we drafted Donnell Pumphrey, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep. And now Sidney Jones didn't play today.
Yes, he didn't. He suited up, but he wasn't playing.
Yep, he suited up. He was active, but he didn't play. And Pumphrey's long gone. And Dalvin Cook's just rushing, balling out. But I mean, and it's no point in complaining about that because we do have Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders right now. So everything happens for a reason. Like that's why I say yes, Chip Kelly destroyed our team, but at the same time, without him, we wouldn't have Wentz.
Correct. Or Alshon.
Or anything that has led up to that Super Bowl win. We would have been stuck in good but not good enough mode. And Chip Kelly destroyed our team, but we were able to build it back up and resurrect it with the help of the Red Lady from Game of Thrones.
I'm done with you. Oh man. So, all right, let's do something fresh. Let's do something spontaneous, right? Right now, you're Howie Roseman. We'll take turns at this. You're Howie Roseman. You got to make a move this week in order to be prepared for Minnesota. What are you doing with your team?
Offensively or defensively or both?
It's your choosing. One move.
One move. Okay, I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to say multiple moves.
No, it's only one move.
No. Screw you. I'm going to do both. I'm going to do multiple.
Listen, this is not Madden. It's real life right now.
Yeah, I know it's Madden, but I know it's not Madden, but I'm going to give a few different moves that they can do to help this team out.
No. You only get one move for yourself right now that you have to make this week.
I'm going to keep talking. So
okay, do your thing.
So you look at AFCs, you look at Joe Douglas, and you look at New York Jets. And they have 2 players on their team that could help the Eagles right now. And I'm not talking about Burton's host Tremaine Johnson. A lot of people would
please don't. He's super overrated.
I've seen a lot of people today, not today, during the last week, say even especially Jets fans take Tremaine Johnson and his bloated contract. Like, no, we already got a lot of burnt toast on our team, and a lot of bloated contracts. But you look at New York Jets, and they're going nowhere. They're going absolutely nowhere. They need to. They're 0-4. They have allowed 101 points, and they have scored 39. And that's through 4 games. So if you do quick math, that's less than 10 points a game. And we almost got them over that hump, but thankfully they went for 2.
Come on, Howie, make your move.
Sorry. You look at Robbie Anderson, who the Eagles wanted last year, and the Jets turned him down.
He re-signed with the Jets soon in the offseason, which
I think it was a restricted free agent anyway.
Okay.
And you look at Robbie Anderson, who can stretch the field, and that's something that the Eagles are severely missing.
Okay.
And you look at Leonard Williams on the defensive side, who they have him playing at defensive end, but he's a defensive tackle. So the Eagles need defensive tackle depth. So you look at Leonard Williams or Robbie Anderson, and that's something that you can work with Joe Douglas on. Especially, they're buddies. Howie and Joe, they're buddies. You would think that Joe would want to help out a team down I-95 that helped him get a Super Bowl ring. I know he already had one with the Ravens. That's beyond the point. But Howie and Joe, they're BFFs. So hey, Joe, help us out.
So that's your move?
We'll send. No. Or, and again, I told you I'm going to say multiple. I'll do this quicker. The Dolphins, okay. Xavier Howard.
Absolutely, I'm 100% behind that.
There's two players in there. Again, another two players there. Xavier Howard, and on offense, Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker is another player they were looking at last year. Right now, this year, I know they're on bye. He's averaging 20 yards of reception. That's a deep threat. That's someone that can immediately help. You look at the Bengals.
Is he really fast?
He's fast.
Devontae Parker?
Yes, he's fast.
I thought he was a big body receiver.
Oh, he's fast. Cincinnati Bengals, 0-5. New head coach, new everything. You want to cleanse yourself of the old regime? Then how about you trade the Eagles' Geno Atkins? Or, if this is allowed, trade A.J. Green. I know A.J. Green gets hurt all the time, and I know, having a hurt player on the Eagles with this training staff that is suspect is a little iffy. But, that's a very talented player that can come in and contribute once he's healthy. But at the same time, the Eagles need players that are healthy right now. Broncos are leading 17-0 right now, so who knows if they're going to want to trade people. But there you see Emmanuel Sanders, Chris Harris. Apparently they came out and said that they're not going to trade Von Miller. But it doesn't help. Doesn't hurt.
All these damn teams saying that they're not going to trade people is really pissing me off today.
Well, especially when you're like an 0-5, 1-4 team.
It doesn't make sense. So we have to build a farm.
Right, like thinking that you're going to compete, like with Denver, you really think you're going to compete with the Chiefs, and with the Jaguars, you really think you're going to compete with the Texans? Come on, But Broncos, if you want to trade Chris Harris, who's a free agent at the end of the year, and
might as well.
He's definitely not going to re-sign with the Broncos. Definitely not. I think he tweeted out the other day, or
13 more weeks for me.
Yeah, 13 more weeks.
He got it on video actually.
So he's done with the Broncos. He's absolutely done. Trade him for something. He has the defensive back coach from his Super Bowl days on the Eagles. Corey Undlin was his defensive backs coach on Broncos when he was in All-Pro. Trade him to the Eagles. And Von Miller.
So, but I'm going to pick from your tree. Two of your trees, actually. I'm going to go with you to Cincinnati. I'm definitely shooting for A.J. Green. A.J. Green most likely is going to cost probably like a first-round pick, though. Even though he's 31 years old. I think he's in the final year of his contract.
If they're saying a first-round pick, absolutely not. Absolutely
no?
Not. Absolutely not.
Well, no, hear me out. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Hold on, no. So A.J. Green and William Jackson. I'll trade a first and probably like a fourth for both of them.
Still giving up a first-round pick for a guy who's always injured.
But who could really boost up the offense, who's a big body and a deep threat. And on top of it, you're getting the corner that you need. You wrote about William Jackson, so don't be giving me those googly eyes.
I know that, and I know William Jackson is a very good corner. But at the same time, you're still giving up a first-round pick for A.J. Green, who 2011, 15 games, 2012, 16, 2013, 16. But then 2014, 13, 2015, 16, 2016, 10, 2017, 16, 2018, 9, and
that's when he tore his whatever that.
He had to play a game this year.
Correct, which is the foot injury that he had.
Right.
But think about it. Hear me out. The Eagles are going to invest a high pick on either a cornerback or another defensive player. So why not use it to get two players that you could really benefit from right now? They're not rentals.
But then you're giving a first round pick for a cornerback who's not worth a first round pick. He's very good, but he's not worth a first round pick. And a guy who can maybe come back this year. Maybe.
So you tell me you wouldn't shoot the shot for it?
No.
If this is Super Bowl bust for you, move right here.
It is absolutely Super Bowl bust, but you're getting a what if for a first round pick. For a first round pick, you want a surefire player who's going to contribute this year and beyond.
Okay.
If you're giving up a first round pick.
So now moving to Miami, because I got to get my boy, the one I've been vouching for.
It's like you dream about this guy.
Bro, Xavier Howard makes the most sense to Philly. He just signed that contract extension. He's on a terrible team, a terrible team that needs picks for the draft. It makes all the sense in the world. But the only issue with that is I'm not coming back with anything besides Howard. Because I don't believe in Devontae Parker.
You're going to have to... You're making me get stats. You're making me get stats. So this season, Devontae Parker in 4 games, 10 receptions. Only 10. I get it. But in 4 games, I get it.
Have they scored a touchdown this year?
He has 1 receiving touchdown this year for 201 yards. As a rookie in 2015, 19 yards of reception. 2016, 13.3. 2017, 11.8. 2018, 12.9. This year, 20.1 this year.
He's just another Alshon.
First year, long reception, 49. 2016, 56. 2017, 36. 2018, 46. This year, 49.
I feel like you're talking yourself out of this.
Oh no, I'm not talking myself out of it. But you look at this and say, who was his quarterback? Ryan Tannehill, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Josh Rosen. Give him Carson Wentz.
Oh man, I'm iffy about Parker, man. I'm very iffy about Parker.
The only thing is availability. Rookie 15 games, started 4. 2016, 15 games, started 8. 2017, 13 games, started 12. 2018, 11 games, started 7. This year, he's started and played all 4. So, but he's someone who can stretch the field if given the right quarterback. His combine measurements, he ran a 4.45 40. That's very, very fast. He's someone that can help right now. So if you're gonna send a first round pick, let's take your first and fifth.
Oh no, hold on. I wasn't gonna send a first round for Xavier Howard. I was gonna send at least like a second. It's not gonna cost you your first again.
Let's take your first and fourth. First and fourth for Devontae Parker and Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard is signed through 2023.
Parker's still on his rookie deal.
Devontae Parker is in his last year of his rookie deal. He's 5. This is his 5th year in the league. They picked up his
another Jordan Howard deal.
This is another. Yeah. So they exercised the 5th year option in 2018 on Devontae Parker. So this is his. He will be a free agent after this year. So this is Jordan Howard and Devontae Parker together on the same kind of thing. But and just another game break. I'm sure all the Eagles fans will like these game breaks. Dak Prescott was just sacked on 3rd and 4 at the 50-yard line, and it's now 4th down. They're still down 14-0.
What's quarter?
Second quarter. That's that elite Dak Prescott is down 14-0 to the Packers. Couldn't beat the Eagles.
Cowboys lose. We tie. We beat Minnesota next week. Obviously, we have to beat Minnesota next week because the Cowboys face the Jets.
Yeah,
we have no choice but to.
What a cakewalk this Cowboys season. I think let me look at their schedule for the rest of the season. But as it's loading, but again, first round pick and a 4th round pick for Xavier Howard and Devontae Parker is absolutely worth it in my mind.
Would you go for Marvin Jones of Detroit?
Marvin Jones? maybe, but not definitely not first. Definitely.
No, absolutely not first round. No, hell no, absolutely not.
I mean, everybody's good for the right price. But it really, I mean, I know Detroit is on a bye this week, so you can't really.
And they're having a decent season.
And they're 2-1-1, So if the Packers win this, they're 4-1. Bears lost surprisingly. Bears lost to the Raiders, so they have 2 losses, and the Vikings won, so they have 2 losses. They're 3-2, I believe. So Detroit's right in there. So why would they trade Marvin Jones when they're right in the thick of things? Who, I mean, he has had a good year so far. 18 receptions for 277 yards, so 15.4 yards receiving. He's always been around that, if not more.
And he has sure hands.
He has sure hands, and that's something the Eagles definitely need. But speaking of that, people were really getting down on Sproles for his, I guess, quote-unquote drop. That was a pretty high pass for him.
5 foot.
But at the same time, Sproles, and I know we're like kind of all over the place with this podcast. It's fine.
It's okay. I love it. I'm with it.
It's all right. He's all time. He's made it in the top 5. He is top 5 all-purpose yards list in NFL history. It's time to put him with he left with a quad injury, so it's time
He's definitely out for a couple of weeks.
It's definitely time to make it seem like it's more serious than it is, and put him on IR for the rest of the year, because I know it was obvious that Peterson was trying to get him into top 5 in front of the home crowd. It sucks that once he got it, he got hurt and he had to exit the game instead of taking it in his moment. But 4th place is Emmitt Smith. And 4th place is, right now, Darren Sproles is over 5th. I don't know the total. I don't know the exact numbers yet. But coming into this game, he was at 19,652 yards, all-purpose. He was 30 yards away from Tim Brown. So he's over that number. So he's over 19,682 yards, all-purpose yards, for 5th place. 4th place, Walter Payton. Well, I mean, not Walter Payton. Emmitt Smith, 21,564 yards. No shot in hell Darren Sproles is moving up in this list. So retire. Time. It's IR for the rest of the season, or just say, all right, you know what, I'm done. That's it, and just coast. There's no point in trying anymore. He came back in May when he thought he was going to retire. Then he was like, and his daughter was like, if I get to Junior Olympics, you have to come back. And his daughter made it to Junior Olympics, so he came back. So when you have a bet with your daughter, like, I'll only come back if you make it like this, obviously your heart wasn't really into it. Like, oh shit, now I got to come back. And he came back in May. So, and I don't think he played at all in the preseason. So, you're a 36-year-old running back who's 5'5", 5'6", and you've had obviously a great career. You're going to be a Hall of Famer. It's time to let it go. Time to take the option away from Doug Peterson of having you in the game, because it sucks. But at the same time, when you lose Sproles, you got to figure out who you're going to put back there in punt returns. Because Corey Clement, a lot of Twitter today said you've never seen a Super Bowl hero go from you've never seen a player go from Super Bowl hero to cut so fast as Corey Clement. I don't think he's going to get cut.
I don't think so either. I think he's part of the future, but he needs to find his way back. Can't remember, he missed all of last year.
Yeah,
and then he's steadily coming back. I think Corey Clement is fine. I do think the Eagles very heavily regret letting go of DeAndre Carter.
Yeah, I guess special teams wise, yeah.
Yeah, nothing more than that.
You don't think he's wide receiver of the future?
No, I don't know.
But DeAndre Carter, another Paul Turner, very very highly liked by fans in the preseason. To only go to
He
another.
did well in the season, but they cut him like after he did well to make room for somebody else on the team.
Yeah, but Scour. I'm gonna have to dig into this more during the week, but you definitely want to get another running back in there to spell both Howard and Sanders. Over the years we've had, like last year, obviously Clement. We don't want to talk about last year too much, but last year Clement, Smallwood, Boston Scott, Josh Adams. You had 4 running backs. The year before, Blount, Clement, Ajayi. And you had these triple threat, quadruple threat running backs. Kenyon Barner. You have at least 4 running backs this year. Right now, you have 2. I'm not counting Clement because he's not been used. So it's really just Howard and Sanders. So
you have Scott on the practice squad.
And Scott's on the practice squad, and I'm sure he's going to get called up this week. The Eagles love to make those practice squad moves and get those notifications going up on my phone to get me excited. Like, oh, what did they do? Oh,
Eagles have now signed.
Eagles have now signed cornerback, and I'm like, what? Nope, not that corner. It's frustrating.
It's very frustrating. But let's go to a non-frustrating topic. Let's go to. Should we do picks?
Sure.
It's too early to do picks right now?
No, we can do picks for next week. So far today, Brian and I disagreed on 2 games. I'm still down 3 games to Brian. Last week we split 2. We disagreed on 4 games and we split 2 and 2. This week we disagree on 2 games and I beat him on the first game. He picked the Jaguars and I did not.
Damn you, Gardner Minshew.
I picked the Carolina Panthers and I won. I picked Kyle Allen.
Which I should have picked him because I have Christian McCaffrey on my fantasy team and he did phenomenal.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. So he also picked the Bengals, but then he was like, "Oh, wait, just kidding." And then I picked the Cardinals.
Hold on, I didn't say just kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You sound like a schoolgirl.
Schoolgirl. So tomorrow, the only other game we disagree on is tomorrow night. I have Cleveland. He has the Niners. So next week,
I got Mr. Porn Star himself.
Yeah. You really want you really like those porn stars. Yeah, Gardner Minshew. You picked Gardner Minshew and his porn stash.
Well, he didn't take the deal with the porn star company. So there's no proof there. You have no proof.
That's what you think. So this Thursday, on the 10th, October 10th, it's a rematch of Super Bowl, whatever it was. The Giants at New England. Danny Dimes versus Tom Brady.
The great Danny Dimes.
The great Danny Dimes, who rolls into football games looking like he's a substitute teacher. Is this like a question? Like, do we both have...
It shouldn't be, honestly. This shouldn't even be on the list.
It's obvious you're picking the Giants.
What? Sure, I'm picking the Saquon-less Giants.
Yeah, the Saquon-less, and maybe the Wayne Gallman-less Giants versus the Patriots. All right, so we both got the Patriots there. All right, so you got Carolina and Kyle Allen. London game. It's a 9:30 a.m. game on Sunday.
Who's Kyle Lowry? You mean Kyle Allen?
Kyle Allen. That's the quarterback for Carolina. Learn your football.
You said Kyle Lowry.
I said Kyle Lowry? Oh.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry. Toronto's on my mind. And so Kyle Allen versus Jameis Winston, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In London.
Damn. The Bucs have been kind of balling out lately.
Chris Godwin has it for my fantasy team. Make sure to start him today.
But McCaffrey is a man, bro. Oh my God. What was the score for the Jaguars and
A
Panthers?
lot of fantasy implications here.
Yeah.
Jags and Panthers. Panthers won 34-27. And Buccaneers lost 24-31
To who?
to the Saints.
I'll go Carolina.
I'm going Tampa Bay.
I knew you were.
Chris Godwin.
Yeah, that's C-Mac.
See God. How about that? See God.
See God.
I got see God. All right, so Seahawks at the Browns.
Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks.
No debate.
Not even a debate.
Russell Wilson looks like the MVP right now. I don't care what nobody says.
He's it's gonna be a rough one in November when they come to Philly.
I still have the Eagles picking that game. I know you're looking at me because of that.
Let's see how the corners are at that time. Then we got this might be this one team just dropped 53 points today. The Texans at Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs.
The tale of no defenses.
Yeah, this is going to be a high-scoring affair, which would be great for me because DeAndre Hopkins is now my wide receiver on my fantasy team.
Let's not talk about TradeGate.
TradeGate. Leonard Fournette against me. He's facing me this week. 23 points. 23.7 points, Leonard Fournette. Frank Gore had 8.9. DeAndre Hopkins, 15.8 for me. And on my bench, I put Sonny Michel on my bench. 21.3 points on my bench.
You know it's not a fair trade. Shut up. I'm going with the underdogs. I'm going with the Texans because I feel like the Chiefs got to lose at some point.
All right, so we disagree on 2 games so far. I got the Chiefs. The Texans defense is not going to stop the Chiefs. Sorry.
The Chiefs defense is not going to stop anybody.
Exactly.
The kickers.
A battle of the teams. Here's another game break. 2 minutes and 19 seconds left in the game. Packers are up 17-0. Go Pack, go. So a tale of teams where if you were in the home team, a city, you could have tickets to this game for as low as $16.
Is it a Jets game?
This is no, it's not. It's not the Jets game. It is a tale of 2 teams looking for their first win. The Redskins at the Dolphins.
See, this is like picking like which ex-girlfriend you like most.
This is like picking which way would you rather die? And would you rather get stabbed or would you rather get shot?
Oh, you pick first for once. I've been picking the whole time.
See, who are the Redskins going to have at quarterback? Are they going to have Colt McCoy? Are they going to have Case Keenum? Are they going to have Dwayne Haskins? Are they going to have RG3? Are they going to have Kirk Cousins? Who knows? You know,
RG3. I just caught that. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Who knows what Jake Gruden's going to throw out there? One of my students, him and his family, obviously he didn't pick it, but his family's a huge Redskins fan.
Mm-hmm.
So he's obviously a huge Redskins fan.
Sure.
And every day, Mr. Fate, I don't care how much we suck this year. We're tanking for Tua. You got Dwayne Haskins. He sucks. I'm like, all right, okay, whatever you say, man. So apparently next year they're gonna have Dwayne Haskins as backup, and Tua is gonna be their starter.
If the Dolphins don't get the first overall pick,
I think Miami cements their lead for first overall pick in this game, and I got the Redskins winning.
I was just saying the same.
Or maybe a tie. Who knows?
There's no way the Dolphins win that game.
Yeah,
On purpose, at least.
Maybe they tie 0-0.
Probably that too. Or 3-0.
The next game, we got a team returning to the site of Super Bowl 52, where they won a game.
The Houston Oilers?
No. The Arizona Cardinals. Oh, I'm sorry. No. A team called the Philadelphia Eagles, traveling to Minnesota, where they a couple years ago, they won a game 41-33 over a team named the New England Patriots for a Super Bowl win that I will forever. I don't care if this is their only Super Bowl for the rest of my lifetime. I will always brag about this because no one thought the Eagles would ever win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care if it's you only got one. I don't care. They got one. And that's the same like Yankee fans. Like, I mean, my wife doesn't say anything about the Yankees right now because it's football season. But like Yankee fans, I'm a Red Sox fan and Brian's a Mets fan. My friend yesterday he sent me a GIF of the Yankees. I'm like, the last time the Yankees won a World Series, we were in college.
Could that be a thing now? Like, I mean, I feel like you can't do that with the Yankees.
Like, that's 10 years ago.
But you can't really do that with the Yankees. It's the Yankees.
Who cares if this that's 10 years ago?
You can do that with the Cowboys, but not the Yankees. Like,
oh no, you can absolutely do that with the Yankees because Yankee fans want to say 27 championships. You've had you haven't seen one this decade. You haven't seen even a World Series appearance this decade. Your last World Series was in 2009. I was 20 years old. Get over it. You're not going to win this year. The Astros are going to win again, or the Dodgers are finally going to win.
Isn't it crazy? I must have tried his turn in baseball alone. It's a completely different subject.
Yeah, it used to be just like a predominantly either Yankees, Red Sox,
mm-hmm.
or who. And National League was more parity in National League. Back because the Red Sox beat the Rockies and they beat the Cardinals, and the Yankees beat the Phillies in 2009, and it was a lot more parity with National League teams. But now it's all over the place. It's really spread out throughout the whole league. You got the Astros looking good, and they got a rotation that's probably the best in the whole league. You got Verlander, Greinke, and Cole.
Wait, just to clarify, you said it was only 2 minutes left in the whole game for the Cowboys and Packers?
No, I said half and a half.
You sure they have? I think you said the game.
I said the half.
I think you're slipping in this podcast.
Yeah, I'm 5 years in. I mean, no. Sorry.
You got my hopes up. That's why I was clapping. I thought the game was over.
Five very high ABV. It's not like 5. Today? It's not like 5. Multiple different things. Right now, this is called Sip of Sunshine by Lawson's Finest Liquids. Very good. I gave it a 4 on Untapped. Maybe next.
Oh, Dream is 6.2.
Maybe if we we'll ask the fans if you want us to do a segment on what beer we're drinking and and you give us recommendations, we give you recommendations. We'll do that.
I really like this one, by the way. This is really good.
Those cans are good. See, those silver cans right there, those are cans that are specially made. And my wife and I learned about this a few years ago at a beer fest. They make beer in those cans now, so it's less light going into the can, so it's less. It doesn't get skunked as easily.
Interesting.
So you see, bottles are darker; they're brown, so they can reflect the light easier. You don't see a lot of lighter bottles anymore, things like that. You also see more tall cans, so that the light doesn't go into bottles anymore. You see more 12-ounce cans, and a lot of breweries are going to more cans because it gets skunked a lot less frequent.
Yeah, this is a 16-ounce.
Yeah, so 16-ounce cans, they get skunked a lot less frequent than bottles because bottles are obviously clear, even though they're darker. You can't get any light in the cans.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting more choice. But anyways,
That's interesting. Back to Minnesota.
yeah. So
Who do you have? Oh, obviously it's Eagles.
yeah, we're both picking the Eagles. Like
Yeah.
we're not stupid. New Orleans at the Mustache. Gardner Minshew.
Oh, come on, Saints.
Yeah, Saints.
They look really good this year, by the way.
If this team did not make a trade to the Eagles this week, they might want to think about it next week. Is the Bengals at Michael Vick and the Ravens?
Yeah, Ravens.
They're staring at 0-6. The Bengals are, and I am picking the Ravens too. Battle of the Bay Area. The Niners versus the Rams.
I'll go Rams.
I'm going Rams as well.
Just because of Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. Battle of the shitty teams. The Falcons versus the Cardinals.
You pick. I'm stumped right now.
I'm picking the Falcons. Oh, this is another game. If you live in Glendale, Arizona, you can go to this game for $12.
I'm mad you have all that information right now.
It says it on ESPN.
I'll go Falcons as well because I don't trust Kyler Murray that much against Vic Beasley and them.
Dak Prescott just got wiped out. I mean, he's up. He's in the game, but he got wiped out. He's getting his ass kicked this game.
Only the first half.
So
only the first half.
We pissed Aaron Rodgers and the Packers off last week. Oh, hold on. Before we pick the next one, we got 2 more games. 3 more games to pick. The Cowboys are lining up for a field goal. 54-yard attempt. And he missed. It's a 17-0 game with 40 seconds left in the second half.
Hail Mary Rodgers coming to the plate.
Well, I hope so. All right, so we got Tennessee at the Broncos. Broncos are currently up 17-0 over the Chargers.
I'm going Tennessee.
I am going. I'm going Tennessee.
I'm about to say, there's no way you go Broncos.
The Cowboys and their 17-0 deficit versus the Packers against Luke Falk. Actually, it's probably Sam Darnold at this point.
Yeah, he's probably back. I'll still pick the Cowboys over the Jets. The Jets are a miserable bunch right now. They don't even make sense. Are you thinking about this?
With Sam Darnold back.
No.
With Sam Darnold back. And looking at this Cowboys defense getting destroyed. And looking at this Cowboys offensive line that's getting destroyed. And Ezekiel Elliott right now is on the bench sucking air right now. His fat ass is tired. And Prescott, you saw the Jets defense wasn't no joke today. I know they got their ass. They really showed up today.
Mm-hmm.
They really showed up today.
The Eagles defense carried this game.
But at the same time, the Jets are do have Tremaine Johnson back there. But at the same time, they got Jamal Adams back there.
Mm-hmm.
And so for my upset pick of the year, I am picking Sam Darnold at home to make a miraculous comeback from mononucleosis to beat the Cowboys. The Jets win, a close one, by like less than a touchdown over the Cowboys, sending them to a 3-game losing streak. They will be 3-3 because they're obviously going to lose today. 3-3. They're going to lose to the Jets and go into Philly for a 4-game losing streak. And all those assholes who were saying that the Cowboys were Super Bowl bound after 3-0 against the Giants, Redskins, and the Dolphins. Are going to go back into hiding.
So you're saying that when the Eagles meet the Cowboys in 2 weeks, the Eagles will be 4-2, Cowboys will be 3-3.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I'm still picking Cowboys, but I'm with that idea.
Not lastly, I forgot about Monday night. So Sunday night, Steelers at Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers. And Monday night, Lions at Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay. A lot of momentum after this game today.
All right, so there's our picks.
So
we gave you guys our recap of the Jets.
I think we disagree on 3 this week too. So next week.
Let's see how much I extend the lead by on Chris. So we recapped the Jets. We recapped our feelings on everything. We even played Howie Roseman for a couple of seconds. And we gave you our picks for week 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, week 6.
All right. So, guys, thank you for tuning in today. Please make sure you like, you subscribe, you comment, you do everything. Even if you got to write in the comments how much you love Chris's visual concepts that he gives you guys, his poetry that he gives you guys.
I just talk wonderful things on podcasts all the time. Every week I give you wonderful takes. I whisper sweet nothings.
You're like Jack on Titanic when he was painting the picture of Rose when she was naked.
I paint wonderful masterpieces. And if you can hear the crumbling of plastic in the background, that's my wife trying to stack things up against the wall and falling. I know everything's falling. It's baby stuff.
She's gearing up the body bag right now for Chris.
She's gearing up the body bag for me. She's getting ready to call me names off podcast, on podcast.
She's looking right at you, like itching to say it, isn't she?
No, she's not looking at me. She just says she already called me names, so she doesn't have to call me names anymore.
All right, guys. Well, tune into next week. We'll give you more of Chris and Bree. We'll give you guys our recap in the Minnesota game, and also we do have a special guest next week.
We might be unveiling a special collaboration for next week.
We'll unveil it like probably midweek, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Via our Twitter at FlippingBirdsPod, at BCameronPSN, at Infante54, at PhiladelphiaSN. Yeah. Have a good night, guys.
Go Birds.
Yes, sir.